Delhi Sultans. In the previous part of the lesson, we have discussed how did the Delhi Sultans come to power. Why we call them as Delhi Sultans? Because prior to the 12th century, we have never seen any kingdom having their capital in Delhi. They were somewhere downline in the south. So the first time the capital was established at Delhi and started to exercise control from Delhi to far off places, to the very distant places. Now moving on into have a look at administration and consolidations under the Khaljis and Tughlaqs. So in this part of the lesson, we will try to discuss how was the administration carried during the period of Delhi Sultans, especially giving importance to the reign of Khaljis and Tughlaqs. Why there is a special importance for the Khaljis and the Tughlaqs period? That also we will analyze at the later part of the lesson. First, from the aristocrats to Bandhgans. Earlier, from centuries, we have seen kings favoring their relatives, their friends, their lineage people to take over the positions which are powerful in the kingdom, which are under the king's control. But for the first time, under the Delhi Sultanate rulers, the aristocrats were not given any priority. It was the slaves who are given priority in top official appointments. That's why there was a radical shift from the aristocrats to the Bandhgans. What does the word Bandhgan mean? Bandhgan means a special slave. A slave who has his birth origin at the humble beginning and will be later elevated to a very high position. This is taken from the Persian word Bandhgan, means a special slave. The kings trusted mostly the slaves than their own relatives. It's like they trusted their slaves equal to their own sons. Sometimes if the question comes whether they believe the son most or the slave most, they obviously took to the slaves, not to the son. So like this, they gave special importance for the slaves, and they considered only the slaves to be at the topmost positions so that they will be loyal to the king. That is one of the main reasons why they have favored to give special status to the slaves and not to their own relatives or the aristocrats. So this was initiated by Iltutmish and later followed by the other rulers. Because of this move of the Delhi Sultanate rulers or the Afghan rulers, it created a political instability and insecurity among the people. How can it create a political instability? We just discussed that the slaves will be loyal to the king. Then how does this bring political instability? There is a small clue or small logic here. The slaves are loyal to the king who appointed them, not to the heirs who are coming to power after the king. If a king has a son and his son comes over to take the kingship after the death of the father, so the rulers or the slaves who are posted by his father are not loyal to his king, who is his son. So they want to sustain or they want to establish their control over the kingdoms. So they destroy the authority of the son who became the king now. They don't be loyal to the kingship. Sometimes they attack the king also. So like this, some are very good followers of the father while not to the son, and some are the followers of the son, not to the father. So this creates a clash between the followers of the father, the previous king, followers of the present king. So this creates a political turmoil and political instability in the kingdom. So they gave preferences, low base born people to the high offices, which was mostly criticized by many of the eminent people or the scholars of that point of time in their tawarikhs. As we know, these are tawarikhs, are the written documents about the kings at that time. So later coming to the administration, the entire kingdom is divided into Iqta. The in charge of the Iqta is Iqtadar or Mukti. And Mukti's main duty is to collect the revenue, maintain the law and order in the region, and also pay the salaries to the soldiers who are allotted to him. So the entire kingdom is divided into iktas. The in charge of the ikta is iktadar or mukaddar. Then the mukti, the duty of the iktadar or the mukti is to collect the revenue, maintain the law and order, and take care of the soldiers who are allotted to him by paying their salaries. So here we need to remember, the entire India is divided into states, and states are divided into districts, districts are divided into mandals, mandals are divided into villages. In the similar way, the entire kingdom is divided into iktas, and iktas are controlled by iktadar. Iktadar is also known as mukti. Mukti's main duty is to collect land revenue, take care of the law and order of the region, and also take care of the soldiers who are working under him. So in order to check the iktadars and the muktis, there was an accountant appointed by the state, means by the authority of the kingship, to check how much of the revenue they are collecting. Are they collecting the revenue imposed by the government only or not? Imposed by the kingship only or not? Are they collecting more? If in case it is proven that he is collecting more or he is not paying the salaries in time, he is punished very severely. During the reign of Alauddin Khalji, there was very severe punishment given to the iktadars who deviate from their rules. So like this, they made a strict control. If necessary, for a very short period of time, also they used to transfer the iktadars from one region to another region, so that they don't develop the rapport between the iktadar and the local population. And it was of non-inheritance based or non-hereditary basis. So if the father is a iktadar, it doesn't mean the son will definitely become an iktadar. If he is capable, worth enough, he is tested, then only he is appointed as an iktadar or a mukti. So the accountants will always check the revenue or the income collected by the mukti in his allotted region. So like this, we have administrative divisions of the iktadar. So once the kings emerged to be powerful during the reign of Alauddin Khalji or Muhammad bin Tughlaq, they forced the samantas, the ruling aristocrats, the rich landlords, to follow the rules and prescribed by the kingship. If anyone tried to deviate them, they were punished very strictly. And coming to the collection of the revenue or the taxes, how the taxes are collected? The taxes are collected on basis of three proportionates. One, the tax, first one, they have to pay 50% of their produce, the field output, whatever they produce. In that 50% they have to pay as tax. Next, the second tax they have to pay on the cattle. The third tax they have to pay on the houses on which they are living. So the lands were surveyed, the taxes are fixed, and then the taxes are collected. When the moment is going like this, we have a turbulence in the north, that is the Mongolian invasions from the far of the north. So from the far of the north, we have the Mongolian invasions coming over to India, which created terrific changes. That is, Genghis Khan, in some books he is mentioned as Chengiz Khan. So the Mongolian invader Genghis Khan or Chengiz Khan attacks the Transoxania in 1219, and later the onslaught started. He started to attack the entire North India. The invasions of the Mongolians disturbed the control and the authority of the Khaljis and the Tughlaq rulers. So it was one thing which brought some changes in the administration, and now the attention of the kings, it is of the Khalji dynasty or the Tughlaq dynasty rulers, was forced to look at the invasions and develop a very strong economy, a very strong army to fight back the Genghis Khan's attacks or the Mongol invasions. So how did these people fight? What are the measures taken? Let us compare the measures taken by Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq to control or to counterattack the Mongolian invasions. So what are the administrative changes were made? What are the military steps that were taken? So ultimately, are they successful in defeating or stopping the Mongolians entering into our country? Let's find out. So now let us look at the steps taken by Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq in order to prevent or counterattack the Mongolian invasions. First, let us look at the Alauddin Khalji steps what were taken. First attack on Delhi was made in 1299 or 1300, and the second attack continued the very next 2 years, that is in 1302 to 1303. So on the wake of these accounts, Alauddin Khalji planned a counter plan for this. We need to have a very strong army which can withstand at the attacks of the Mongolians and then try to re-attack them. So first let us plan to have a very strong army ready at the disposal. In the present day we call it as the standing armies. So first his initial plan was to raise the standing army. So let us raise the standing army which is ready at the disposal to attack any of the enemies who are ready to attack our kingdom. So this was the first step taken by Alauddin Khalji. He constructed a new town called the garrison town where the soldiers are being stationed. And the new town was named as Siri. The town where the soldiers are stationed known as garrison town. So next, in order to feed the new set of soldiers who are coming in, so a huge number of soldiers are being recruited, trained rigorously, and they were placed in a new city, and now we need huge amount of food which need to be supplied for them. So the taxation is fixed and huge amount of taxes are collected from the fertile lands in the Ganga and the Yamuna Doab region, so that it was not an overburden to them. The taxation also was taken a very careful step that it should not be overburdened to the people, and the necessary arrangements were made. And he always paid to the soldiers in cash. He always maintained that. He never preferred to give any token currency or give any special privilege to the soldiers. But keeping in view that all the soldiers need the same materials or the goods available for him in the market, he regulated the market, that in the market no prices of the products or the goods have to be increased or should not be increased without the knowledge of the king. So he controlled the market prices, or it would be right to say that he regulated the market prices of the essential commodities which the soldiers needed and also the common man needed. So the common people are also an important part of the population of the kingdom. The entire kingdom is to protect the common people. It's not to protect the king, or it's not to only for the soldiers. So the king needs soldiers to save these people. So he gave a special preference only for the soldiers to stay separately, but he gave an equal treatment in market regulation that all people, irrespective of whether they are a soldier or a common man, they have given a common price for them, and the market always was under the control of the king. So like this, raising the army, standing army, constructing a new garrison town, Siri, taxation, fixed taxation of 50% on the most fertile lands, and paying the salaries to the soldiers in cash, and the most important step, regulating the market and the cost of the commodities, the goods which are essential for the soldiers as well as for the people. So these all attempts or the actions which are made by Alauddin Khalji made him to be very successful in stopping the invasions of the Mongolians. So that is how the kingdom survived and could be resisting the Mongolian invasions. Now what happened and how did Muhammad bin Tughlaq plan to defend his kingdom from the Mongolian invasions? Now moving on to Muhammad bin Tughlaq's measures or the steps taken. First, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was also attacked in the earlier years when he came to power. So he decided that instead of constructing a new town, let us evacuate the town where the present day people are staying in and around of Delhi and move them to a new place. That is, a new city was constructed for the residents of Delhi in Daulatabad, and the soldiers were garrisoned in the present old Delhi, where it is required for them to stay nearby to the capital place. So he removed the residents there and transferred them to Daulatabad, and he brought the soldiers nearby to his kingship palace, and the taxation plus additional taxes are being levied in order to feed the soldiers, which is a huge burden on the people, and this was followed by severe famines. So the people are also highly dissatisfied with the move, and he issued a token currency which was not made of a costly metal like gold or silver. It was made of a copper coin, which is of having not much value, and it is only given to the soldiers who were given special consideration in the market prices. So like that issuing of the token currency, and he tried to attack Kashmir, and later he wanted to attack the Mongolian places of Transoxania and the other places and to destroy them. But once he got defeated in Kashmir, his attempts of reoccupying the Mongolians or attacking the Mongolians, he gave up the idea, and he disbanded the entire army what he brought till now into Delhi, and he also got severe blow from the people, because many people in the Ganga Yamuna fertile land place were also experiencing low rainfall and famine conditions where they were forced to pay extra taxes. So because of all these things and the issue of the token currency, which was really a failure, and no one was acknowledging this token currency so much, everybody used this token currency, and once the token currency was called off, many people, especially soldiers, lost most of their properties. So like this, all the steps which are taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq lead to a failure, and it was one of the reasons where the importance of Muhammad bin Tughlaq was also not highlighted. Muhammad bin Tughlaq's all measures were really innovative, but as it could not see the success, the important attempt, instead of just defending the country or the kingdom, he tried to attack the enemies. He was the first one to attack the Mongolians. The idea of attacking the Mongolians, he was the first one to exhibit that, but could not see the sunlight. Now comparing the steps taken by Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Let us compare the steps taken by Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. As we know, Alauddin Khalji raised the standing army, constructed a new town for the soldiers. Then the taxation was fixed, and a special care was taken that it will not be an overburden to the people, and it was the salaries of the soldiers were paid in cash, and the market prices were regulated under the control not for the soldiers especially, but for all the people in common, because the essential commodities are required for soldiers as well as for the common people. So these all attempts, in comparison to Muhammad bin Tughlaq's attempts or steps what he has taken, he was also attacked in the early years, so he also wanted to increase the standing army. So instead of constructing what he may be thinking was, like, if we construct a new town, a new city, it may take time. So instead of that, let us remove the people those are staying in the present region and construct a new town for the common people, instead of that constructing a town for the soldiers, because this is the top priority issue according to him. So maybe that was one idea why he has moved the people from there and brought the soldiers garrison here. And later the similar steps were taken by both of them. He also wanted to increase army, he also wanted to increase army. He also had a town, he also had a town. He constructed a new town, he made the people to move and gave a new town for them. 4 new parts of the city were been added for the soldiers. Taxation was fixed, here the additional taxes were levied. So this is one part where most of the people got deviated. I mean, when it comes to Khaljis and Tughlaqs, he tried to take measures which will not be an overburden to the people. At the same time, he has to feed the entire soldiers. This is a responsibility of the king. But when it comes to here, it is like overthrown the responsibility on the people, where whether they are able to bear it or not, it was not considered at all. Taxation plus taxation plus taxation. So additional taxes and additional taxes were levied, and people were overburdened. Even during the times of the famines also, they were forced to pay the taxes. This is the point where they started to differ each other. And the next point where they differed from each other was collection. He paid in cash, he paid in token currency. The cash was common to all, so there was no much deviation here. But when it comes to Muhammad bin Tughlaq's innovative idea of introducing a new coin, where that will be giving a special concession for the soldiers. It's only for soldiers. But Alauddin Khalji did not give any special importance or any special privileges for the soldiers when it comes to the buying of the commodities. So that was another important point where they started to deviate, and maybe this could be the main reason why his attempts were not seeing the sunlight so successfully, while he was very successful in his attempts, and he was able to restrict the Mongol invasions during his period. And his period, he himself went and tried to attack. This was one bold step actually, where Muhammad bin Tughlaq tried to attack the enemy. The best way to defend is to attack the others, especially the enemies, where Alauddin Khalji did not do any attempt to attack the people. But his idea to attack failed when he was defeated at Kashmir. So like this, we have most of the common steps which proved to be successful, where very few steps which are very important, where he has paid in cash. He did not pay in cash. He paid in the token currency. He regulated the market price. He gave a special concession through this token currency to the people, especially the soldiers. So that brought the variation and the dissatisfaction of the people, because they are moved from one place of their hometowns to the other places, and additional taxes in the Ganga Yamuna region. All these made people also to react very firmly against the moves of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, while Alauddin Khilji was appreciated by most of his successors and the chroniclers, because his attempts were very successful, while Muhammad bin's attempts were not so successful as that of Alauddin Khalji. So Sultanate in the 15th and the 16th centuries, how did it got transformed? So we have seen the rulers like Tughlaqs. After Tughlaqs we have Sayyids. Then after Sayyids we have Ibrahim Lodi establishing himself to be the last ruler till 1526. But the practical situation is that before 1526 itself, the independent rulers started to flourish in the most prosperous capitals, that is in the states of Jaunpur, Bengal, Malwa, Gujarat and Rajasthan. So in all these states, we have the independent rulers coming up. Along with this, we also have the new ruling groups like Afghans and Rajputs emerging as very strong rulers. So though we have the Delhi Sultanate rulers of Tughlaq dynasty, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the last effective ruler of Tughlaqs. Then we have Sayyids and the Lodis. But slowly we have seen the rise of independent rulers in the states of Jaunpur, Bengal, Malwa, Gujarat and Rajasthan. And in some places we have the Afghan rulers coming in, and some parts of India controlled by the Rajput rulers. So all these broke the monotony and the control of the Delhi Sultanate. Delhi's capital power was reduced. We have seen Sher Shah, who came to light from a very humble beginning, who was initially a manager to look after his uncle's kingdom. But slowly, it was a very small kingdom. Slowly he emerged to a position where he challenged the Mughal ruler, Humayun, and defeated him in 1540 and ruled very successfully the entire Mughal empire for 15 years without any break. Afterwards he got defeated. So in 1540 to 1545, a normal common soldier, just a normal person who looks after the kingdom, emerged to be the ruler of the vast empire of that time. And he brought many changes from Sher Shah, that is Alauddin Khalji's administrative measures he started to adopt and bring certain changes according to the requirement and according to the situation to make it fit to his kingdom, and made a very effective administrative system in place. It was very effective that even Akbar got inspired with that administrative system, and even he followed that to consolidate his position as a Mughal emperor. So it shows how effective the system what was being placed by Sher Shah Suri, who made a mark. Though he had a very small beginning or a humble beginning, he created a new history by emerging as a most successful ruler and started a Sur dynasty rule in the middle of the Delhi Sultanate rulers and the Mughal dynasty rule. He came into the middle and established his own Sur dynasty rule and made a mark there. Afterwards, he could not have very effective rulers of his time. So with this, we come to the end of the Delhi Sultanate rulers and the emergence of the Mughals.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.